reading caboose has arrived. I'm Conductor Clark.
And I'm Ms. Janice. Hey, who wants to learn about the letter H?
I do!
Now what can we do with the letter H?
We can hula hoop.
Or?
Create a massive global hoax.
What Ernie's referring to is the Apollo 11 moon landing that supposedly took place on July 20th, 1969.
To quote Neil Armstrong, this is one small step for man.
And one giant lie to mankind. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Ticket Taker Sam. Sam's been riding the rails ever since mean old Microsoft stole his formula for Windows 95.
Hey, Sam, I hear you've got a story for the kids.
I sure do, Miss Janice, and it's a real whiz-banger. Once upon a time, there was a president named Kennedy.
I promised to put a man on the moon before the end of the decade.
Mr. President, didn't you also promise civil rights?
That's another story, Trevor. Now excuse me while I go sleep with Judith Exner.
Meanwhile, poor inept NASA couldn't get a rocket into space. Pew!
So, they turned to Plan B.
I'm LBJ. Boo! The end of the decade is here, and there's still no Americans on the moon. Those Ruskies are gonna beat us to it.
I'll help you, Mr. President.
Who the hell are you?
I'm Stanley Kubrick, and I'll use some tricks I learned while filming the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey, to fake a moon landing.
And we're the Mafia, and we'll fund your scam to build a secret soundstage in Las Vegas.
Good. While people think they're in space, we'll keep the astronauts busy with whores and gambling. Then we'll pay them off, or brainwash them, or kill them.
The end.
Yay!
Squawk? But is there any real proof it was a hoax? Squawk?
Is this proof enough, Gully Bird?
I used to fly to the moon all the time.
Hobo Dan! Hey, Hobo Dan, how did you fly to the moon?
With the only real astronaut, Dr. Timothy Leary.
Oh, Hobo Dan.
Hey, that reminds me of a song.
This old moon rocket ain't what it appears to be.
Ain't what it appears to be.
Ain't what it appears to be.
This old moon rocket ain't what it appears to be because it was baked in a kiln
In Japan.
Yay! Thanks, Hobo Dan. That was fun, credible. And the truth.
Uh-oh, someone's ringing the doorbell. To the safe room, kid. To the safe room.
Well, that's all the time that we have for now. We'll be back with more reading later. Until then, the most important part of reading is reading between the lines.
Sayonara, pigs.
It's fun to read books or friends. When you can read, the fun never ends.
If I say that the world is round and someone else says it's flat, that's worth reporting. But you might also want to report on a bunch of scientific evidence that seems to support the notion that the world is round.
Is settled. The debate is settled. The earth isn't flat.
In other breaking news, the world is round, not flat.
And we need to make clear that those members of the Flat Earth Society are on the wrong side of history.
And you don't need to be a scientist.
And we need, as responsible leaders, to take account of science.
Thank you.
So we prepared a contingency communications procedure, and guess what? We don't need that anymore.
Is NASA lying to us?
Some people believe that the Earth was flat.
What you find is that they create a universe that is perfectly flat. Flat.
Should we still debate whether the Earth is flat?
There should be a legitimate debate between whether the Earth is round or flat, because after all, any idiot can walk outside and look and see that it's flat.
To debate this?
The Earth is flat. Have you heard the flat earther people that believe the Earth is flat?
This is a deep failure of our educational system.
Thank you.
How do we know the Earth is not flat?
We don't. It's flat.
Some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail. They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. They would not have believed that the world was round. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
There are still a few who insist that climate change is one big hoax, even a political conspiracy.
Listen, there has never been a conspiracy in this country.
This is happening. It's happening now.
That climate change is one big hoax, even a political conspiracy.
It's happening faster than scientists had predicted it would, and it's happening to greater degrees than scientists predicted it would.
Let me just underscore, you don't need to be a scientist. My friends, these people are so out of touch with science that they believe rising sea levels don't matter because in their view, the extra water is just going to spill out over the sides of a flat Earth. They're wrong, obviously.
Commonly during these climate change, global warming conversations, people point at the horizon and shout, the polar ice caps are melting. But guess what? They're not. NASA says that.
This is called gravity.
Obama out.
Not exactly through amazing images. So that's precisely how we step in or why we step in, and we need to create some catching, interesting images.
Not exactly through amazing images. So that's precisely how we step in or why we step in, and we need to create some catching, interesting images.
We want to create catching and interesting images because the science is catching and interesting. To create catching and interesting images because the science is catching and interesting.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Over the next hill, that's where we make discoveries. That's the next frontier. It is in us to look farther and deeper. It's deep within us. That is why we are all here. Over the next hill, beyond the horizon. Dream of tomorrow, tomorrow. Long for the open seas. All for this adventure. Dream big, dream big. Dream of tomorrow, tomorrow. Long for the open seas, for the open seas.
Audacious visions have the power to alter mind states, to change assumptions about what is possible.
Beyond the horizon.
They're asking these questions, working together. I claim we can change the world.
Beyond the horizon. Over the next hill, that's where we make make discoveries. That's the next frontier. It is in us to look farther and deeper. It's deep within us. That is why we are all here. Over the next hill, beyond the horizon. Dream of tomorrow, tomorrow. Long for the open seas. All for this adventure. Dream big, dream big. Dream of tomorrow, tomorrow. Long for the open seas, for the open seas. Over the next hill, that's where we make discoveries. That's the next frontier. It is in us to look farther and deeper. It's deep within us. That is why we are all here. Over the next hill, beyond the horizon. Dream of tomorrow, tomorrow. Long for the open seas. All for this adventure.